Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel, E.D. Lewis Reviews. So, I meant to have already done a video by now, but, like a review and stuff, but since I've been dealing with some things right now, it's not happened. But I plan on doing a book review very soon. But, for this, I really hope to have done one before I did this video, this book tag, but, you know what? It's fine to do 2 book tags in a row. And, yeah, so. I'm a little behind on my BookTube still, so I'm still needing to catch up on it. I have watched some videos, and some videos that I've watched I have not commented on yet. So, and there's a lot of videos I haven't even gotten to, so I will get to those as soon as possible. Well, let's get started with this book tag. And this is a book tag that I was, unofficially tagged in, and then tagged in, and so I was kind of like, okay, I definitely need to do this tag for this. There's something telling me you should do this tag. So I was unofficially tagged by Ange with an E, and then I was tagged officially by Rob's Doing Things. And this, by the way, is the spoilers tag. So let's get started. There are 9 prompts here. And the last one is for tagging, so we'll get to that one when we get there. So prompt number 1 is, what do you consider a spoiler? I would consider a spoiler to be anything that is, that gives away the plot. What a spoiler is, It gives away a major plot point, or, I guess that's pretty much it. That's what I consider to be a spoiler. And I haven't really noticed that in too many books, unless they're just, they make it overly obvious what the outcome is going to be, or, make overly obvious something that's going to happen. And I mean, like, fairly early in the book. Like, maybe they're doing a little too much foreshadowing, or the other foreshadowing is just too blatantly obvious, which does happen. Sometimes this is not a deal breaker for a book, and sometimes it is. It just depends on the reading for me. That's me personally. Everybody has, their own little things with books and reading, and writing. So prompt 2, does the genre you're reading impact what you consider to be a spoiler? Not really, since I mostly read horror and gothic literature, which of course encompasses gothic mystery, gothic romance, gothic horror. Those are the 2 genres that I mostly read. I'd say not really. I mean, obviously I know there's going to be, something horrible that's going to happen to the characters, and there's, going to be danger involved in some way, and maybe some sort of mystery, and sometimes, depending on how it's told, I may know, well, obviously the narrator's alive at the end of it, so they didn't die or something horrible happened to them. But I would say mostly no on that one. Number 3, all the best bits are in the trailer. Sometimes a synopsis can be too detailed. Do you research books prior to reading them, or do you go in blind? Usually I do read the synopsis or blurb or whatever on the back of the book. If it's a Kindle book, it's not, going to be on the back of the book. But I usually will do that. There are a few occasions when I have gone in completely blind and knew absolutely nothing about it except for the title. So most of the time I will read that. There has been occasions when I have researched a little bit of a book, and I have, so I kind of know what I'm getting into, but, or if I see a video and there's a review on it, then I'll know a little bit. But there's usually, I only know as much as what's on the back cover. So. And sometimes spoilers are not a big deal for me, even with movies, unless it's something I absolutely don't want spoiled. Like, no, I want to find out, when I get there. So, but it just all depends. And that will kind of come back around another prompt soon. Number 4, sometimes the introduction or translators notes can spoil the ending, especially for classics. Has this ever happened to you? No. No, it has not. And the reason why is because I usually skip those. Because I'm like, I think I've tried to read some of them on occasion, but I'm like, yeah, no, I just want to get to the story. And this is no offense on them. I'm glad it's there. Someone, will really enjoy it. And the few that I have read, I may end up reading them like after the book, but most of the time I don't read them. I just skip it altogether, don't even try. I found some of them dry for me and some of them interesting. But no, I don't usually read them at least before the book and rarely read them at all. And that's no reflection on them. It's just I'm more interested in getting into the story. So, but for other people who are interested in that, that's awesome, and it gives them even more insight and stuff. So I think it's really cool that they are there. I just don't do anything with them. Number 5. Name a time somebody spoiled a novel for you. I can't really say that there has been a time that anyone spoiled a novel for me. I mean, some of the reviews I watched here on YouTube or BookTube, sometimes some of the reviewers do reviews with spoilers, and that's fine, because I can choose if I want to continue watching it, or, and decide, do I want to continue, do I want to stop and go read the book, then come back, which I have done that maybe twice. But usually it doesn't matter to me, so I'm gonna say there isn't really been a time that a book's been spoiled for me. Because, I mean, on the times where I've watched a review and it's, has spoilers in it, I go ahead and watch it, and then I read the book anyway. So, I don't really have a story for that. Number 6, have you ever spoiled a novel for someone else? Yes, I think I have. But, I don't think it's been anything serious where I think they said, oh, don't spoil it for me, and then I go ahead and spoil it for them anyway, and they're like, no, why? I mean, I've accidentally spoiled books for myself, but that was because I flipped through them and I accidentally found out something I didn't want to know until I got to that point. But no, I don't think so. Maybe I have let it slip once, but I can't remember when that might have been. Oh. So we're just going to go with, I don't really have one of those events. Well, one of those events where I shock them. I have where I didn't want to tell them anymore, and they said, oh, you can go ahead and tell me. And I'm like, well, okay, so. Number 7, if spoilers ruin novels, are there some authors or genres you can't read? No. No, there aren't. Like, I would be willing to reread a mystery, which I have reread some mysteries before, and I mean, I know what happened at the end, but it doesn't impede my enjoyment at all. So I still enjoy the story and the writing, and it doesn't matter if I already know the outcome or not. I'm perfectly fine with it. Sometimes I'll go through it and when I'm rereading it, I'm like, oh, I forgot that, and I'm like, oh yeah, or there's a moment where it's like, I don't even remember this scene at all. So it's like it's brand new to me. So, but other times it's rediscovering, or it's just bringing back that enjoyment, and maybe I have a new outlook on it. So, no, there are not any genres or authors that I can't read because of spoilers. Number 8, when reviewing, are you spoiler free? Does this limit your ability to discuss? Usually I am spoiler free. There may be an occasion when I drop like a small spoiler, but it's nothing, really important. It's not a big spoiler. I don't want to put out the big spoilers because I don't want to, tear down anyone's enjoyment of, discovering the big plot point. And yes, this does somewhat limit my ability to discuss, because then there's certain parts I may want to talk about, but I can't because it would spoil it. And I have debated maybe someday doing a spoiler video where I bring up the points I've wanted to talk about in certain books, and I say, okay, everything in this video is a spoiler. We're going to start with this book. Now, the part I want to talk about with this, and this spoils the whole thing, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. Yeah, maybe. But there was something I was going to say, and I want to come back to it on this. Oh, but I feel like maybe in some aspects, like when I reviewed The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, it was hard not to spoil, the obvious thing. I mean, everybody knows who Jekyll and Hyde are. So, I mean, is it a spoiler to talk about that? And there is a review video, part of a video series I want to do, where, everybody knows this character, they know what this character is, and I'll just leave it at that. So it's not a surprise. So I feel like in those cases I may end up putting a spoiler, but it's a spoiler that everybody knows, or they should. I would think anyway. Anyway. So what one was that again? Oh, that was number 8. Oh, we're at number 9 already. Okay. So this is the last one. This is the shout out. So tell us about 5 channels you enjoy and tag them. So let me get this off my chest so I'm not repeating myself, and this will cut down on the time of the video even more. All these people review horror books, and some of them do talk about movies. I'll mention briefly those ones. And they all have their own style, and that's what I enjoy about each one of them. And, I'll have some additional notes. So the first one is John from Books of Blood. He talks about music, books, movies in his collection, and he even does a little bit of true crime. Sorry. And I just love listening to him, even when, the occasion is when I can't watch the video and I just get to listen to it on my earbuds while I'm doing something. I like listening to his voice. It's, I don't know, it's relaxing, and something about his voice just kind of puts me into the zone of, the topic that's being discussed, whether he's discussing music or he's, or the movies that he has in his collection or the books he's reading or, any of that. So 2, Jason's Weird Reads. Let's see, what can I say about Jason? He has a very relaxed feel, and I really like that. I mean, I like the ones that are not as relaxed and they're very, atmospheric. Although he does have a bit of atmosphere in his setting. I like how he has his bookshelf is, some people have these very perfect bookshelves and stuff. Looks like, like a professional library. His looks like, like, kind of reminds me of, like, some of my favorite bookstores, like my bookshops, like the ones that are like locally owned places, and you can tell the books have been read, and some of them are sitting on top, some of them are sitting face up and some of them are sitting on their side on top of them, and it's a more relaxed feel, and it just feels more comfortable to me. And he picks out some very interesting horror books and stuff, so I enjoy his channel because of that, and because of the content. All these people are content and personality. So, I mean, they're all different, and I enjoy them each for their individual personality and for their content, and also what I see visually on the screen. So, number 3 is Regina's Haunted Library. So, Regina St. Clair, she's actually one of the first booktubers I ever watched, and this was at the time when I was thinking about possibly doing some sort of videos. I just didn't know if I wanted to review movies or books or what, and she kind of helped inspire me. And she reviews movies, books. She does HorrorTube as well, and she also has a character on there named Batilda, and she does some horror reviews of her own, as well as horoscopes called Horoscopes. So, number 4, Kesha's Book Cemetery. I love her coffee times. Or it's just kind of, especially when it says it's coffee time, I can't help but just say it to myself every time. And it's a shame that I don't get to often go grab a cup of tea to sit there and drink while watching her videos. But she talks about, horror and sci-fi, and she's done readathons and even some like those compilation vlog videos where it's filmed a little bit on each day, put into one video, mapping out her journey through a book. So I think that's very interesting. And last but not least, number 5, Nikki from Dark Between Pages. She also does horror, like I said. And she does also author spotlights and book opinions, as well as book hauls. And her videos have a very different feel to them than a lot of everybody else's, and she's also so very sweet, and I just can't help but love her. So I tag all of you guys, if you are watching this video, to do this tag. If you are not interested in doing this tag, that is perfectly fine, and if anybody who's watching this wants to do the tag, feel free to do so. So anyway, that's my take on the spoiler tag. Please follow me on social media, and check out my writings, and I will see you soon. So, bye-bye.